Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to my mythic item farming guide. Now, I'm going to cut right to it. It took me about 7 hours to get my first mythic item, and I was doing it on stream, so that was pretty AFK. It took around 4 to 5 hours for me to get to the point where I could start farming my gold leads for the mythics, and then I would say it will take 1 to 2 hours or so per mythic item after that. And in this guide, I'm going to show you guys not only how I got to that point, but how I made a ton of gold along the way. So the first thing that you guys need is access to the Greymoor chapter. Now, I mention this because if you don't have Western Skyrim, you can actually go and farm the leads for your mythic items ahead of time, but they only last for 30 days once you get the lead. So it's up to you if you want to do that. It could be beneficial if you just end up picking up a bunch of really nice leads and then feel like, hey, I should get the Greymoor chapter so I can turn those into some items. So now we need to do the quest line in order to unlock the 2 new skills that we need in order to get the mythic items. You guys are going to want to come to Solitude and hit the Antiquarian Circle. And yeah, go inside here and you're going to find the quest giver. After you talk to her a bunch, she'll get you to pick up this item. And then you go and you talk to her again. And then you should be able to start the first portion of the skill. And this is basically just the tutorial that teaches you how to do scrying and excavation. So you come downstairs and you talk to Gabrielle, and she's going to give you a mission, the Antiquarian's Art. So she wants us to find Gabrielle's Bottle of Proving, and we're going to need to scry for it in order to get it. So at the top of your tabs here, you go to the Journal tab, and normally it will be on quests, and you make sure that you hit Antiquities. And at the very top, it shows the scryable, and these are the scryable ones that you can do for this zone. The zone that you're in will change what scryable antiquities you can get. Now, we want the Gabrielle's Bottle of Proving for the quest, so we're going to go here and hit scry. Now you have to do the basic matching mini game, and I won't explain how this puzzle works quite yet because I want to explain it in depth. So after scrying for the object, we're just going to head right back outside this door, and we're going to see the treasure right in front of us, and we're going to dig it up. Now, you need 5 free inventory spaces in order to dig, and that's just how it works. I am 1 too many inventory on this guy. And then once we start the dig, we get into the excavation minigame. So you can use different strategies to do this. I'll explain how the tools work, and I'll show you guys the strategies that I like to use. I didn't fail a single one of these getting my mythic item, and I highly doubt I will fail a single dig or scry in the future either. So you guys can use my strat if you want. If you find something better, go ahead and use that. So the first thing that we have is the auger, and you get a certain amount of charges depending on how hard the dig is to look for the item in your dig site. So when you click with the auger, it's going to tell you if the item is close by or not. So when we click in this spot, you see that it highlights this area on the outside here. So it's also red, which indicates that the item is not close by. The white highlighted area means that the item we're looking for has at least one piece of its square inside of there. So we know that we will not find any of the item here. So we can now go down here and hit another auger, and we get the same kind of result. And it tells us that there are no items close by here either. So we know that our item is definitely on the right-hand side here. And that's usually the best way to use your first 2 augers, because you'll either ping the item and find it really close to you, or you will find that it's just on this right-hand side. So once you're here, you can just start pinging your way down, and there you go. We got really lucky. We found it right away. If we were to ping a few spaces away from here, you can see that it creates another kind of field, and it tells us that the item is not 2 squares next to us, but in this white area around here. So basically, you can just use this to triangulate where the item is, but if you don't want to spend too much time thinking about it, just put one here, and then work your way down, and you will find your item. And the last color I wanted to show was the yellow color, and I'm just going to do a ping there to show you guys. That means that the item is very close by, within 2 squares of where you pinged. So now we're going to use our brush to try to find the item. I'm just going to dig right away where we see this first piece, and we find something there. Nice. We're just going to keep digging wherever we can here until we uncover the chest fully. And now we get an option to uncover bonus items with our remaining time. Now, every click that you do, of course, brings this time bar down. It's not actually time, it's just how many clicks you have. So I'm just going to randomly click all over the place. You want to make sure that wherever you click, you dig all the way down. And there we see we find a little bit of gold. And the more difficult your antiquity is, the more bonus items you can possibly loot at the end. So, I did want to show you guys how to use the different tools that you unlock as you level up your excavation a little bit. The first tool you'll get is the trowel, and this guy will dig 2 layers deep, and the next tool you get is the heavy shovel, and this guy will dig a whole bunch of the same layer out at the same time. And then, of course, you have your hand brush. You definitely want to use your tools as often as possible. You'll just dig up things a lot faster than if you're just using the hand brush. So the first thing we do is we triangulate where our treasure is. We get a yellow ping right here, so we know it is very close. Another yellow ping here. And there's the green. We managed to find it very fast just by using these different white areas to triangulate that it's somewhere here. So now that we know where our treasure is, we're going to switch to the hand brush. This is the best strategy that I've found for just kind of finding your treasure. So you go for the hand brush first, and you're going to just remove the layer on the top so you get a nice flat surface that fits the entire dig radius of the shovel. So once we have that, we're going to go for a shovel dig. Now I have 2 bars of power here, and this is just from leveling up further in this skill line. When you first unlock the shovel, you'll only have 1 bar of power, and every subsequent bar of power basically means you will dig another layer down when you use your special tools. So this will dig 2 layers with the shovel, and then you see that we get a nice flat surface here that is 2 layers deeper than we were before. So what I'm going to do now is use 2 touches with the brush, and I'm just going to try to flatten the area around where I am to be 1 continuous layer. Now I have a built-up bar again, and I'm going to go for the shovel, and there you see we managed to find not only the treasure, but both special loot items or bonus loot items in one go. So we did get super lucky with this one, but normally what I would do is use the brush to create more flat surfaces or square blocks of 9, and then just use the shovel to dig them out really quickly. It's the most effective way to dig dirt out and make sure that you get not only the treasure you want, but the bonus treasures as well. And then afterwards, we're just going to talk to Gabrielle to finish up the quest here, and she's going to tell us to go back inside and talk to the girl up top again. And then we talk to Verita, and we turn in the quest, and she basically says good luck finding more stuff. So we have now unlocked both of our skills that we need, both scrying and excavation. So now we're going to hit the grind spot to get our scrying up to 7 so we can start doing those legendary leads. Now the zone that we're going to head to is Avia, and this is the zone that you unlock during the Mages Guild quest line. You don't have to finish the entire quest line to unlock Avia, but you have to get pretty far into it. But once you have unlocked the Avia zone, the quickest way to get there is to go to Riften or any of the other 4th zones for each of the factions. Riften is the best, I think, because it's right next to the Mages Guild, the Riften Way Shrine. And then you're just going to head right into the Mages Guild. Once you're inside the guild, you're going to find this portal on your left, and this is going to take you to Avia, the Mages Guild Hall. So now that we are in Avia, I'm going to explain why this is the best zone to do this. So the first thing you'll notice when we open up the map is this zone is very small. You don't want to do this grind in a large zone because you have to run further while you're looking for your treasures. So yeah, a small zone is definitely beneficial, especially if you mess up during scrying and you have multiple dig sites that you have to go check. Now definitely the biggest reason why you want to do this in Avia is because Avia is the only zone in the game that seems to give you repeatable purple scryables. And this is great not only for the XP that they give, but they are worth 5,000 gold a pop, and you can get these guys really quickly. Now, normally when you are doing scryables in a zone, you go to the scryables tab and it will show just a green scryable here. Once you complete that, if you have the required 3 scrying in order to do blue ones, the blue one will be unlocked and you'll be able to do it. Now, once you complete the blue scryable, you will unlock the purple one. Normally, for every other zone, you can only do 1 purple scryable, and then it just repeats green, blue, green, blue, green, blue. Avia just added purple to that mix. It does green, blue, purple every single time. And here you can see on my completion, we have found 30 green, 17 blue, and 16 purple treasures in Avia. So yeah, we were able to level up and make quite a bit of gold just getting to level 7 scrying by doing it here. Now, why is Avia the only unique zone like this? Well, I think it comes down to the fact that there are almost no harvestable nodes in Avia, and there are no monsters to kill. And just that means that you can't farm leads in this zone very easily at all. I think that's why the purple antiquity was added to the repeatable Avia scryables. And Avia is also locked behind a quest requirement, making it a very unique zone in the game. And I think that's why ZeniMax maybe chose to add the purple to the repeatables here. Who knows? So I want to show you guys how to scry, and I'm going to do it on the purple difficulty here, just because it gives us a very hard scryable. Alright, now I'm going to show you guys how scrying works. Basically, this minigame is very easy, and if you fail it, you can try for free over and over and over as much as you want. Scrying just follows a very simple pattern matching kind of basis. You start in this bottom corner here, and you want to connect all of these swirly spots on this kind of board. So you start by clicking the patterns that match. Here we have two circles that match, and we can fill those. And here you see that all of these matching kind of stars here are touching this swirly spot, and when we click this, it will light all of those up as well. Now you get a limited amount of clicks when you scry, and you also get special abilities that you can use while scrying as well. The best ability, I believe by far, is the Coalescence, and it turns every single tile inside this snowflake here. When you have the level 1 version, it's a little bit smaller, but it still turns every single tile to the kind that you're highlighted over. And you can use this to make scrying really, really easy. Early on, the scrying is very easy because, well, you don't have a lot of shapes to match, and then once you start getting further distances between these things, you get really easy tools like the Coalescence that allow you to just quickly breeze through it. So you want to use a little bit of strategy when you put the Coalescence down. We see this kind of circular thing with spikes on it, and if we put the Coalescence here, it turns them all into the circular spikes, and we had a bunch on the bottom that led down to this one here. So now that we've done that, we can just click there, and it easily attaches everything. And yeah, we're just going to cheese this whole thing using Coalescence because that is the way to do it. And we put one there, we get a nice big attachment, we can connect all that. And we have quite a few clicks left, so we can just quickly connect to get the last ones. And that's basically the scrying minigame. It's not very hard, and there's no punishment if you fail. Now, once you have completed it, you see that we get 6 check marks. That means that we didn't have any nodes that were left unconnected, and it tells us where we're going to go look for our treasure. If you didn't connect all the different swirly spots, it'll give you different areas. We might have a blue highlighted spot here as well, and we'd have to go check both spots in order to see which dig site is the real one and which one isn't. Now, thank God Avia is a tiny zone. It makes this process a lot easier. You don't port in here a lot either. You can use the Mages Guild Hall to teleport around this zone, but it's kind of annoying. It's up to you. If you know the ports well, it can be useful. So we've got to the top area here in Avia, and we are going to use the Antiquarian's Eye. Now, if you haven't used it before, you have to quick slot it. So you open your quick slots, and you're going to hit Tools. It should be there, and then you just drag it over. And voila, once you use it, it'll create this little blue wispy thing, and you can see it's blowing in this direction, and our treasure is just over here, points right at it for us. So once we get to the treasure, we're going to play the excavation minigame again. Now I wanted to show you guys these kind of smoking spots, because if you dig in these spots too deep, you end up damaging your treasure. I didn't really talk about the treasure health, but if you end up digging too deep, like especially with the trowel, and you dig 2 layers down, but there's only 1 layer between the trowel and the treasure, you'll damage it with the trowel, and then the shovel's area radius will also damage the treasure if you're not careful with it. So you have to be careful when you dig it out not to wreck your find, but basically just don't dig in these spots. And we quickly triangulate where it is, switch to my brush, and I'm going to start mapping out where I go with the shovel. Now this is still a little uneven. I'm going to even it out with the brush and shovel down further, and then I'm just going to start digging on the sides here as well, while I try to see where the treasure is. And we found the piece of it there. And there you see, very easily we managed to pull our treasure up, and we find the bonus item there as well. So this is the purple dig, and I wanted to show you guys the loot here because we get 2 really big things. This is worth 5k a pop. Awesome gold, and you can farm these really fast, so you can make like 50k pretty comfortably an hour just from farming these. And then of course we get the Indeco, and I didn't sell any of the Indecos I got, but I got about 6 or 7 during the leveling process. You only get them from digging up the purple finds. This is one of the best sources of Indeco in the game, and those are worth a lot of money too. So we're basically going to continue to repeat the process here, just doing the blue, green, and then purple until we have 7 in scrying. Of course, you don't unlock the ability to do blue scryables until level 3 scrying, and then purples at level 5 scrying. So your money and XP will be a little slower at the beginning, but once you hit level 5, you start to make a lot of gold and fast. Now, the next step to getting our mythic item is going to find the legendary leads for each mythic item. Each mythic item requires 5 leads in order for you to dig up all the 5 pieces of it. And there's a table that I have posted for you guys here that shows where you can get each of the leads, what zone they drop in, and it shows what bosses and monsters, etc. people have gone and farmed and actually gotten the drops from. Now, I'm not 100% sure on this, but in general, it seems like farming world bosses is one of the best ways to get your hands on those legendary leads. If you want to make sure that you get the lead as fast as possible, you can always go to the monsters that are shown on the guide here that have been tested out. Now, I found the drop rate for the leads was about 1 in 4, so it's not so bad. I mean, I got them pretty quick from killing the designated monsters that it said. And basically, once you get that legendary lead drop, you're just going to do it like any other lead. So you're going to have to scry it to start, and then you're going to take yourself to the excavation site and dig up, hopefully, your legendary treasure. Now, there is no huge difference in this process versus the easier leads. Of course, you're going to have a little bit of a more difficult time finding your legendary treasure simply because of how the chest is shaped. Now, something that I want to mention is that there is a bit of a bug with the legendary treasures. When you dig up your treasure chest, the location of the treasure chest doesn't really fit with the image of where it is on your screen. You have to look where it's sparkling on your screen in order to find the proper location. And then once your dig is complete, you get your legendary piece of your mythic item. And once you've completed them all, it plops the mythic item in your inventory for you after you're done. So there you go, guys. That is my guide on how to farm your first mythic item and make bank while doing it. Now that you've made it to this point, well, you can continue to farm for the rest of your mythics, and you can come back to Avia and farm out the Indecos and the raw gold you get from digging up all those antiquities and selling them to a vendor. Yeah, it's great. I'm not gonna lie, this is a very lucrative skill and it has some huge rewards at the end, so I would highly recommend you guys do it if you have this chapter. I wish you guys the best of luck on your mythic item farm, and or just the gold farm if that's your goal for this video too. I'm not gonna lie, I actually really enjoyed this skill. It was really cool to have such huge rewards come from a non-combat skill, or one that's not entirely based around combat. So yeah, I like that ESO kind of added that option. I would love to hear what you guys think about this new system that they've added, what you think about the rewards. As always, if you guys enjoyed the show, feel free to hit that like button and hit that subscribe button to stick around for more content. If you guys want to send in your own clips for the top 5 battles or send in a build to be featured on the channel, you can send that to KristoferESO@hotmail.com. You can give me a follow on Twitter if you guys want to keep up to date with what's going on in my life. Check out my Twitch if you want to see some live gameplay from me. And of course, I have got a website. It's a hub for all of my ESO content, and it's got the written build guides, KristoferESO.com. Be sure to check it out. And finally, we're sponsored by What the Fast. They're a VPN for gamers, and they're free to try for the first 30 days via the link in the description below. No credit card to sign up for that bad boy either. And then last but certainly not least, I want to say a big shout out to all of my patrons on Patreon. Thank you guys so much for supporting the stream, and thank you guys so much just for helping me do this job. Your support is greatly appreciated, and as always guys, I hope that you all have a great night, and I'll see you next time.